Hey there, welcome to Retro MX Reviews. I'm Mark, and we're out here today at GTR with my new project bike slash vintage race bike slash practice bike. This is a 2003 Yamaha YZ125, and I ditched the 87 Honda. I just wanted something I could ride, you know, on modern tracks and push a little harder and have more fun with. So here we are. I'm going to do this a little different than my normal review since this is my bike and I'm in the process of building it and figuring out the bugs. So we're going to do this initial impression, and then I'll do a kind of a tech notes and talk about some of the really nerdy stuff I learned when I was working on the bike, and hopefully that'll help other people if they're doing builds. And then we'll get in a race impression too. Right now the track isn't really suitable for hard laps or a long moto, but we'll go out and do a little bit of riding, let you hear it, see what you think, and then come back with some actual race footage. I'll pick one of my classes to run it in. So first off, I gotta thank DirtX Industries. I was looking for graphics on this bike and I had to go with the iconic Honda of Troy look, Yamaha of Troy look. And they did a really cool replica, and so I reached out to them and asked if they'd be interested in partnering with me on this project, and they stepped up. So I've got a sweet set of Yamaha of Troy replica graphics, and I'll throw a link into their website too, so if you're interested in something like that, it's a strong look. So 2003 was a great time for 125s and a horrible time for 125s, because the bikes were fantastic, but we just changed the AMA rules, and now the 4-strokes are coming in, and I watched a few of the old races, and you can already, you can just see it. Those 4-strokes 250Fs are just kind of just obliterating these poor 125s in some of the power situations. But the 125s were really good then, and 2004 was the last year a 125 actually won the 125 championship, and it wasn't a Yamaha, of course, it was a green bike, but the Yamahas were really the powerhouse bikes for that whole era. Any privateer could jump on one of these and just get so much out of it, and part of that was because of the power plants. You had a lot of good mid-range and a lot of over-rev, so it was just a really it was already powerful stock, and then the more you do to it, the better it gets. So they were leading the class. So with that, we'll kind of look at the bike. It was just a case reed motor, and this motor was really very similar from 97 up to 04. And it's kind of interesting because you look at the 97, 98, the chassis looked a little different. And then, so they then swapped that up in 2002 to this same plastic shape that they carried all the way through, which is interesting. They redid the whole bike in 05, but they kept the same plastic shape. But, yeah, well, they redid the frame anyway. So, you can look at this, and a lot of it, carries over to today. And there's really cool restyle kits out there, too, but I wanted more of a retro look, so I just went with the stock stuff. So, other than that, these had the bumper style 46mm forks, so it was before your SSS forks. I had to change the fork seals in it. You could actually see these little rubber bumpers up at the top, so that was kind of wild. And interesting to see how these are going to work. And other than that, I mean, the YZ125 is probably one of the most popular, probably the most popular 125 ever made, so there's not a whole lot to say about it on the technical end. It's pretty well documented. There's a really good YZ125 group on Facebook that I've gotten to be part of over the last few weeks as I built this thing, and so if you're a YZ125 owner, that's a lot of fun to go in there, and there's a lot of knowledge in there, good helpful people and stuff like that. So, yeah. Enough about the tech stuff. Let's go out, burn some laps, and I'm just going to come back and see what we think. I'm wrapping up the day. I've got 3 sessions in on the YZ125, and I'll tell you my seat of the pants first impression of that bike is that, well, Yamaha was making some amazing freaking 125s in 2000s. That thing, I don't know if it's because I've spent so much time on 125s or what, but I'm serious. I took a lap and I'm like just digging everything about it. I started with the stock settings on the forks, and I ended up going in on the compression, out on the rebound, just to get a little more hold up. But other than that, it's such a fun bike to ride. The power is, this bike has a V-force and a full exhaust, so it feels like it's got a little bit more kind of meat. I've had a 04 that was all stock and a 06, and I don't know that the 06 is any faster. I mean, it's been a few years since I rode it, but it's this bike, you definitely wouldn't think it's at a disadvantage, I'll put it that way. So just easy to ride for a 125, and oh, the sound. I dig the sound so much. The brakes felt a little weak to me, and I might end up going with like an oversized front. I've read some people do a Honda caliper conversion, so I might give that a shot. But that was good. All the shock felt fine. This is this track, there's not many jumps on it. So I want to kind of break up this series because I'm not getting a full impression, and this is going to be my race bike, and I'm going to put a lot of time on it too. So I want to kind of break up this series and explain a little bit more about it as I get used to the bike and figure things out. So with that, again, thanks so much to DirtX for the really cool graphic kit, and if you want to buy them, and please tell them I sent you, and kind of helps them out. Also, if you want to follow this little mini series here with this bike, please subscribe to me. I would appreciate it so much if I kind of build that subscriber base a little bit more. It would be very cool. And stay tuned for part 2 and part 3, which will be our kind of the little tech talk and all the junk we learned, and kind of get a glimpse of what kind of crap that you have to dig through basically when you buy an old bike and want to rehab it. And then I'll get a race test on here pretty soon too. Matter of fact, after this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to race this bike this weekend. I'm not sure what class, but I feel alright about racing it. So thanks for watching, and come back and check out some of the other stuff we're going to do with this bike. Thanks.